Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. This is episode 87. We have a lot to get into in today's show. FSU being left out of the college football playoff, Niners, Eagles. Max is not too happy about that. Chiefs, Packers, Sunday night game. The controversial calls in that game. The refs, what are they doing? The college football playoff with the four teams. So let's get into it. First of all, Max, how was your weekend? How you doing? How you feeling? What's going on?
Doing good, Joe. Been busy, just working.
How are you feeling about this whole FSU being left out of the playoffs? Because, that was a really controversial situation. A Power 5 team has never been left out of the college football playoffs since, I think the playoffs started in, 2014? I'm not exactly sure.
2014.
So how are you feeling?
I think it's absolute horseshit, Joe. There's absolutely no way we didn't earn our way in. We're undefeated. There's nothing you can say. I get it that other teams put up a good resume, but you look at Alabama and their resume, they have so many one score games that to teams that are nothing. Remember when they played USF and it was like 17-3 full time?
Yeah, they had their third string QB in, but yeah, I get your point.
It's like there's so many games that they were barely in that were to nobody's.
Right.
How could I just don't see how FSU gets left out at all.
It's just really unfortunate because I was specifically saying this, and a lot of people didn't really want to understand the reasoning, but the SEC holds so much weight. It always has been. It's never going to change. If the committee had the opportunity, I think they still would have somehow put, like, if Oregon would have beat Washington, I don't know, man. I just feel like the committee could have squeezed in Georgia. Some people were saying, well, the four best teams. Washington isn't one of the four best teams. Is Texas better than Georgia? Everyone was trying to play the numbers games. Would Georgia be favored on a neutral site against those other three teams? 100% they would have. But it doesn't matter because Alabama beat Georgia, and that's what they cared about the most. And I also think it goes back to this point here from last year when TCU went to the college football playoff and they got absolutely blitzed by Georgia in the national championship, 65-7. I understand your frustration. I totally get it, but the SEC just holds so much weight.
TCU was a two-loss team.
Yeah, they lost their conference championship to Kansas State, but this year was just this year was just insane. There was too many one-loss teams, and it's unfortunate FSU got left out. They have every right to be in there, but the committee said, hey, you guys look like a total different team without Jordan Travis. And FSU's argument was, well, we still won our conference. We still played great defense all the way throughout. And it sucks. It's tough, but it's just one of those things. And it's even worse now because you have to play Georgia.
I mean, we don't have to play Georgia. It's meaningless at this point.
Right, but you know what I mean. Like your consolation prize is you have to go around and you get lost out of the playoffs, and then you have to go turn around and play Georgia. There's going to be a ton of opt-outs anyways on both sides, both teams. So doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, I mean, FSU definitely made their case, and it sucks. They're 13-0, and this probably was the season for them, even though Travis got hurt. Because who knows what next year is going to hold? I'm not sure who they'll bring in for QB recruiting next year. I don't know what they'll do with Rodemaker and Brock Glenn. You're going to lose Verse, you're going to lose Benson, you're going to lose some pieces. So Johnny Wilson, I'm sure you're going to lose Keon Coleman as well. So this was the year, but yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbled. So, but overall, I mean, pretty good college football championship weekend. Michigan dominated Iowa. We saw the Alabama-Georgia game. Did you watch any of the college football games besides the FSU Louisville game or no?
Alabama-Georgia, just barely. Like I was working during the game, but I kept looking up at the TV while I was working to see what was going on.
I was watching that game and I was like, this is the national championship. It felt like. I know you can say SEC bias, but man, those two teams were just made for each other. And a lot of people didn't have Alabama winning that game, but I don't know, man. They're going to play Michigan here in a few weeks, and they're not the favorite, but man, Saban's going to get a month to prepare. You're going to get to see what they're made of on the field against Michigan. That's going to be a great game. We have a lot of Michigan friends that are Michigan fans. So it's going to be an interesting one, honestly. Alabama could win it all. That's the crazy thing. In a year you'd never expect them to do it, and they have the pieces. They look like they're hitting on all cylinders. I mean, how can you not say they can win it all? They just beat Georgia. So remember a few weeks ago when I said if there's one team that can beat Georgia, it's Alabama?
Yep, you just said it. You did say it.
It's just the reason why I said that's because those two teams know each other very well. That's Saban's former assistant. those two teams match up, and I think Alabama had the edge with their offensive line. I mean, they dominated the line of scrimmage, and Georgia never faced a running QB all year, like a quarterback like Milroe. And everyone was wondering, well, what's Georgia going to be made of? What are they going to do? So there you go. But yeah, overall, good college football weekend. I'm excited for these playoffs coming up here. But actually,
Yeah.
last point we make here, though, before we move on, your former QB, Danny Cannell, said that ESPN's Kirk Herbstreit has more power than anyone with regard to the college football playoff. I'm sure you watched the Selection Sunday show, right?
Yeah, I was tuned in for sure.
Yeah. You see what Booger said?
Oh yeah.
And you see how ESPN kind of shut him down right away.
Booger was pissed.
And he had every right to be, but it's kind of funny because but ESPN like completely shunned him as soon as he started making his case. So you start to wonder. So ESPN is definitely, they handed the cookie jar with the college football playoff. There's no way they don't. You know, You agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
So actually,
the thing that pisses me off is that we're going to 12 teams next year.
Yeah.
So, like you're never gonna. There's no redemption next year. There's no redemption pick. Like there's never gonna be that. This will be the worst.
Yeah.
Like decision in
history.
College football, or the most controversial, at least in football history, because there will never be a 14 playoff. Now the 12 and the 13 seed might be a toss up, but that's going to be like, it's not going to be an undefeated team down there that's like not making it.
Right.
Like every undefeated team is going to get in. Like exactly. So this will be the most controversial take ever.
Yeah.
And now you've got, no one's going to care about 12, 13. Like those teams are going to care, but they're not going to be as divisive as FSU not getting in this year.
It sucks because a few weeks ago we talked about this on the podcast as well. Nobody's ever going to be happy. And I know this was the last year with the 4 team. People aren't going to be happy with the 12 team next year anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, FSU, like I said, they made their case. They proved, what they were made of. And it's just one of those things. And college football now is turning into like the 2 big super conferences, right? You got the Big Ten and the SEC along with the ACC, because teams from the Big Ten, the Pac-12 are
Don't
joining
forget,
the ACC
the
as well.
ACC had a winning record against the ACC.
The SEC.
The ACC had a winning record against the SEC this year.
Yeah, you beat LSU. I mean, you beat Florida too, but I mean, Florida's what did they? Yeah, I get your point, but what I'm saying here is these conferences now are all aligning with each other, especially with these NIL. Have you seen the recent stuff with these QBs and how they're entering the transfer portal and how they're basically going to be paid to go to these schools now, like big money?
Yeah.
Like Matt Rule, he's like, we can't even afford a $2 million QB. Like when would you ever hear that in college football? It's just changed completely. It's all about the money now, and it's just going to show.
Oh yeah.
And the last point I will make, though, is I think Deion Sanders will have, I mean, yes, he is, a great recruiter and he can pitch to a lot of players, but these players they see, yes, they want to play with Deion Sanders. Like you have Travis Hunter, the culture, how, Florida State, didn't want to bring Deion in and he went to Jackson State instead. But this point here, like, for example, let's just say, you have Shadur Sanders for Colorado. But like a guy like Cam Ward, he entered the transfer portal from Washington State. He's potentially linked to Ohio State and other big schools. How is Deion Sanders going to, what is his pitch? Oh, I'm a great recruiter. You haven't won anything. Do you see my point? Do you see kind of where I'm coming in from? Like, yes, I get Deion Sanders is a great recruiter, but in the grand scheme of things, where is your resume of what you've won at the college level? So these players are going to sit there and go, yeah, Deion can get me ready for the NFL, but I could go to Alabama and I could start over there and make a ton of money in NIL and a much bigger program, a better coach, a better outlook of getting me to the NFL. Yes, I get Deion Sanders can prep you and get you ready. Position-wise, he's a great coach. Not discrediting anything Deion has done throughout his time in the NFL, throughout Jackson State, Colorado. Do you see my point, though? What I'm getting at here?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think if Colorado was a 3-loss team or a 4-loss team this year, things would be very different. The conversation would be different. People would be dying to take those 4 losses up to 2 losses, up to 1 loss. But they're a team with I think a losing record, right?
Yeah, they ended up losing 8 straight.
Yeah. So like that, they had so much momentum going into the beginning of the season. If they could have won a few more games, people would have been dying to get over there. I think their record has tamed that down a little bit.
Yeah, in conference they were 1-8.
But if they come in and win a few more games, I think they're 3 or 4 years down the road. If they can win 4 games, people are going to be killing to get with prime time. So I still think they have a chance.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're absolutely right. Your camera just went out there for a second. But my point here with Deion Sanders too is, what can we pitch? So that's the thing too. It's just going to be interesting. And what's going to happen this transfer portal off season? How can you bring in these recruits? What are you going to do? Because if you don't really get any better, yeah, I know it's going to take some time, but if you don't get really any better, questions are going to be raised. Eyebrows are going to be raised. Questions are going to be afloat.
Yep.
So we lost you for a second. Your camera just went out.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I don't see you, but that's okay. All right. You ready to get to the NFL? Because I'm ready. We're going to briefly talk about the NFL. All right. Well, you know what? What we'll do here is just out of the kindness out of my heart for you, we'll start off with the Bengals and the Jags. I'm sure you watched that game, right? Because I know last week you said you were boycotting the Bengals, but you definitely watched that game.
Joe, I didn't. I did not watch the game. I told you.
Oh my God.
I followed the scores, but I did boycott watching it on TV. I was refreshing the fantasy app like over and over again. Just checking the scores, watching the live score updates.
Oh, did you see the whole situation with Trevor Lawrence not taking the cart after the game or after his injury?
Yeah, limping all the way down the tunnel. That was so weird.
It's so funny because a lot, we like to overreact to certain things. Trevor Lawrence actually opted to not take the cart. He said that he's like, I didn't feel like I needed the cart. Yeah, we have an amazing medical staff that takes care of us in every way that you can imagine. Anything that we need, they're always there. They work pretty much around the clock. We talked about getting a cart, and I was gonna get a cart, and I'm standing there, and I'm like on the sideline at that point. The tunnel's right there. I just wanted to get off the field, out of there. I didn't know what was going on with my ankle. I felt like I could get off the field. If I'm the medical staff, I'm like, hey, you're getting a cart. You don't get a say in this. You need a cart. I was really interested to see that. I was like, why didn't he take a cart? So, but I'm sure you saw that, right?
Yes, sir, Joe.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was
that
like,
was very interesting.
But did you see you didn't watch the game, but still, the Bengals busted out the Dylan Brooks dance in the end zone. Did you see that?
Yep.
I was
jackass. Did you see Orlando Brown kept saying
jackass? Yeah, that was so funny. But you didn't watch the game, but you still caught like the movie. I watched the movie trailer.
Don't worry, Joe. I saw my fair share of it on Twitter.
You guys won though.
I know we won.
You play the Colts this week. Yeah, Jake Browning, a little Washington action.
Like dead accurate.
Yeah.
People are asking if Joe Burrow is a system QB. We may never know.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So, all right, this one here though, I'm ready to get into this part of the NFL. This was actually the first thing that I wrote down. The NFL MVP conversation. On this show, we'd like to talk about MVPs. Well, I have my MVP. If this happens, if it all goes well, this is my MVP. Tyreek Hill should win the NFL MVP if he hits 2,000 receiving yards. No receiver in NFL history has hit 2,000 receiving yards. The closest to 2,000 receiving yards was Calvin Johnson in 2012 when he hit 1,967 yards. And then you had Cooper Kupp, who had that amazing year when he won the Triple Crown in 2021 with 1,947 yards. Now, Cooper Kupp had 16 touchdowns in that year. Travis Kelce. Calvin Johnson had 5 touchdowns in his record-setting year. Tyreek Hill's stats right now, 1,481 receiving yards. He's averaging 15.9 yards a catch, and he's got 12 touchdowns. There's been no receiver in NFL history that's ever hit 2,000 yards. Now, I know this is a heavy quarterback award, but I think Tyreek Hill just makes a complete case. Like, my case is there. I hit 2,000 receiving yards. No receiver has ever done this before. How can he not get this award if he hits 2,000 receiving yards?
Yo, we had this MVP conversation this year. I think when position players are breaking records like that, it really does take away from the quarterbacks, or not to take away from the quarterbacks, but it really does make you think like you could really give it to Tyreek Hill here. I agree. I mean, I would say with 2,000 yards and with however many touchdowns he has, what do you do?
I mean, he's got 12 touchdowns right now. He's got 12 touchdowns right now. They play the next game they play against is the Titans. Then they play the Jets, and then it's it's Cowboys, or no, sorry, it's Ravens, Cowboys, Bills. I'm pretty sure that's their last 5 right there. But still, if Tyreek Hill breaks that 2,000 receiving yard record in that game span there, you got to give him the MVP. How can you not give him the MVP at that point? We've never seen this.
100%.
Yeah, okay, Brock Purdy makes a case. Okay, Jalen Hurts makes a case. Okay, Dak Prescott makes a case. And I know it's a heavy quarterback award, and this MVP award for this weekend, because Brock Purdy is now the favorite. But as of right now, but it changes week in and week out. But with this Dak Prescott Jalen Hurts matchup this Sunday, you're going to see the Eagles and the Cowboys play. That could be the deciding factor of the MVP right there as well. So we'll see kind of what that goes. But Tyreek Hill is my MVP if he breaks 2,000 yards.
I agree, Joe. I don't see how you give it to anyone else.
So how about this one though? Roger Goodell wants to ban the tush push. I'm sure you've seen this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Roger Goodell wants to ban the tush push. So I want to hear your take on it again, since now that it's probably going to be banned, because we talked about this a few weeks ago, but I'm ready to hear it again.
I think we've talked about it, Joe. I think that's absolute horseshit. It's a play. It's a football play. One team happens to be better at it than anyone else. What can you do? It's also the grittiest. It's the grittiest play ever. It's like it's the most pure form. Like you're just man on man, just pushing.
Meat and potatoes, baby.
Yeah. If you I just don't see how you can ban it.
My thing about the tush push too, Max, is this has been around since 2005, and a quarterback sneak isn't new. It's actually funny because Jason Kelce said, ban it. At this point, ban it. I don't care. I'm over the discussion about it, Kelce said, per Sports Illustrated. We were really good at running QB sneak before we did the push. I don't think it's a necessary part for it. It certainly helps. There's no question about it. We both have the same opinion about it, Max. There's no reason why they should ban this play. So now we're just going to take away plays in the NFL because they work for one team. It's actually funny because here's this. I have the statistics right here about it. They convert third or fourth downs to first downs or goal line plays to touchdowns while using that play 86.2% of the time. The rest of the NFL is barely above a 70% success rate on the play. So we've seen this week in and week out. The carbon copy is there. It works for the Eagles, and it doesn't work for other teams. I'm sorry the Eagles have a good offensive line.
What I don't get is, though, it's not like it works for the Eagles only and it doesn't work for other teams. They still convert 71% of their so
yeah.
It works.
Yes, it works. It just doesn't work as
marginally better.
Yeah, and they have a great offensive line. I'm sorry that works for them.
It's absolutely bullshit.
If it ain't, it's BS. I can understand the hip drop tackle. Okay, fine. You want to ban that for player safety, but the tush push is this is just a glorified QB sneak. I'm sorry. Yeah, what's up?
You cannot ban the hip drop tackle. Do you know how unbearable it is going to be watch football every time somebody wraps up and drops to the ground and somebody's leg happens to get caught up? We're going to see a penalty every single time.
Yep.
It is going to be that happens once a drive.
Yes.
It's just going to be unbearable to watch.
Well, it happened in the Patriots Chargers game with Ramondre Stevenson. Actually, I talked about this briefly on the podcast, the Thanksgiving episode when I didn't have you on, and I talked about it like the Logan Wilson situation. I know you watched that Thursday night game, the Bengals and the Ravens. It actually happened to Jordan Travis as well. But now, so these players have been playing football in their entire life, and you're going to sit there and tell them, these NFL players in the offseason, hey, this is a new way you have to tackle a guy. I get it. You got rid of the horse collar years ago. That's different. I understand that. But the hip drop tackle, how are we going? We're going to ban this in the offseason. You're going to tell these players, you got to learn how to tackle differently. You're just taking away the aspect of the game.
It's like there's so many tackles where dropping to the ground is the only way you can do it. Like if you're a cornerback tackling Derrick Henry, you wrap him up. Where do you go? Just let your feet drag behind Derrick Henry? Like you have to bring him curl up into a ball and pull him down.
You bring him to the ground as best as you can. Isn't the objective of football to bring the defender down as best as you can? There's no rules like when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm sure you can't horse collar the guy in that aspect of it. You can grab, if a guy's got long hair, you can pull him down by his hair. I'm taking you down the best way I can.
Yep.
So I just think it's insane. But they're probably going to ban it this offseason. When the NFL season ends this season, they're probably going to ban the tush push. They're going to ban the hip drop tackle. At this point, in 5 years or so, they'll probably be making it flag football. So it doesn't even matter.
People just won't even be allowed to tackle. It's absolute bullcrap, Joe.
Well, Max, they made the Pro Bowl's flag football now. I mean, the Pro Bowl used to kind of be exciting years ago. I mean, the players would, I mean, it's not serious or anything, but the players would play for fun and stuff. Now it's just flag football. Who the hell wants to watch a flag football game?
No one. Well, that's because no one wants the Pro Bowl to begin with. So
right, exactly. So how about this one though? Lawrence Taylor says that he couldn't play in today's NFL. I would get thrown out. He probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would.
That was a man amongst boys. Oh my gosh. He actually said this on Tom Brady's podcast, Let's Go. And he said, I don't think I could finish a game nowadays. The quarterbacks need to learn how to throw the ball anyway. So Brady was saying, throw the ball away. They need to learn how to read defenses so they can get the ball out of their hands. Brady is basically saying this in response to Lawrence Taylor because a lot of people were saying Tom Brady was soft. He didn't take any hits. He was a bleep, 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 bleep. So, but actually, Taylor said the game has changed a little bit. Just a couple weeks ago, I saw running back DeAndre Swift get fined for trucking. He said, "What the hell is trucking?" Yeah, Lawrence Taylor would not survive in this NFL today. Hell no. You would see guys going out on stretchers, man.
Oh my god, dude. I just can't like every time they make a new rule about tackling and like tackling, we're just gonna see penalties all the time. It's bang bang plays, and you're just gonna see flags fly for like somebody literally trying to get the guy to the ground. No one wants to watch that shit. Like we've seen it over the last 4 or 5 years with quarterbacks, like hitting the quarterback at all.
Yep.
Everyone absolutely fucking hates the penalties that we get from just a normal sack.
Yep, I get it. You're trying to protect the QB because he's the guy. He's why everybody watches the game. I get it. You can't hit the quarterback below the legs. Understandable, but there's been so many ticky-tack calls, like you just said, and they're ruining the game. They really are. I mean, it's the way we've been seeing week in and week out. They're just ruining the game. So, how about that Niners-Eagles game? I'm sure you watched that, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, well, the Eagles got punched in the mouth, 42-19. The Niners got their revenge. Deebo Samuel was loving it. Excuse me. I mean, for the first quarter, it was a good game. I mean, I thought the Eagles were going to win the game, and then the Niners had other plans in the second quarter. Overall, I mean, pretty solid game. Jalen Hurts went out in the fourth quarter, and then it ended up coming back. But the storyline of that game was the Dre Greenlaw, Dom DeSandro, the Eagles security officer. He got ejected. They both got ejected. So I want to hear your opinion about it.
I mean, he got into it. That's you got to go. Like,
yeah.
What can you do? You got to go.
You have no business ever touching an NFL player ever.
No. I mean, the players have enough of it. So, yeah. What do you think about it? I think it's deserved. I don't think it was controversial. He shouldn't.
No,
have
I
been
mean,
I don't think it was.
Yeah,
I don't think what he did was egregious, but I don't think. I mean, I don't think he's an evil person. But obviously, I think the punishment was fine. He should have been gone.
Yeah, 100%. I made a clip about this, but for me, really, it's about Dre Greenlaw's body slammed Devontae Smith. Tempers were flaring in the third quarter. Bless you. It's a rivalry game. I totally understand it in that aspect. But as a security officer, as a professional person on the Eagles staff, you've been there for over 25 years. You have no business touching an NFL player whatsoever. Your job is to protect the players. I get it. You're emotional. Your player just got body slammed. You don't want to see that happen, but that's not your job. He's an NFL player. He gets tackled. He gets paid millions of dollars. That's his job. You have no business stepping in and touching a player. And there you go. They proved it right there. And Eagles fans were actually upset that he got ejected. I was like, how can you be upset? That he deserved to be ejected. So in Dre Greenlaw, he put his hand in his face of Dom DeSandro. It's actually funny because when it all boiled over, they both apologized to each other and stuff. And Sirianni even apologized as well, which was a good look. But he's going to be on watch. I'm sure he won't be that close to the players like that again. I'm sure he'll be on the sideline, but maybe distance from the players. So yeah, overall pretty good game. I mean, I know that was the storyline of the game, but Brock Purdy played really good. So did McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. I mean, that Niners offense is just so fun to watch.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's you got it in the AFC with McDaniel because he was under Shanahan, and you got it in the NFC, of course, with McDaniel. Shanahan, excuse me, with that motion offense. They just have the pieces. It's just plug and play, man. It's just so fun to watch.
I'm looking forward to a potential Eagles 49ers rematch in the playoffs. I think that'll make for some good television.
I'm looking forward to the Ravens and the Niners. They play on Christmas Day in the Bay. So that'll be a good one as well. And then actually the Dolphins and the Ravens will play here in a few weeks as well. So I'm excited to see that as well. So we get some good football coming up here.
Bills next week at the beginning of the year. So that should be an interesting game. Hopefully the Bills are still in playoff contention. We'll see.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I was talking to my dad about that yesterday on the way to work and how we were talking about can the Bills still make the playoffs, because I know we talked about this on last week's episode. Well, they play the Chiefs this week, so we're going to see. He still said to me, though, he said they can still lose this game and still get in. But I think it's going to be tough. They could still squeeze in, though. We'll see.
Yeah. I think they definitely still have a chance, but it would be cool to see them win. I would like to see them still fighting for a playoff spot. And
yeah, I would love to see them sneak in.
The Dolphins will probably be fighting for a first round bye by the end of the season. So hopefully, looking good for now that it'll still be a meaningful game.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins have their 3 upcoming tough games when they play the Cowboys, the Bills, and the Ravens. So those 3 games right there will probably determine if you'll get the 1 seed or not. Because you flop in all 3 of those, you won't get it. I think you have to win at least 2 out of the 3. So it'll be interesting to see. But did you catch any of the Chiefs Packers game?
I did not. I heard Jordan Love is playing on another level.
Yeah, and I'm not ready to crown him yet. I don't like when people do that, but like I was saying before, let's give the guy some time. He has a lot of inexperienced young receivers. The offensive line has been very shaky, but it takes time. He needed reps, but I'm not ready to crown him and say he's the second coming of Christ, that he's the next Aaron Rodgers. Like all these fans are now, like they're posting and tweeting.
The Packers fans are ready.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah. I mean, now they're starting to say like the what was it? The 2020 draft? It was a 2020 draft, right? With Tua, Herbert, Hurts, Jordan Love, and who was the other QB on there? Was it the 2020 draft? Can you look that up for me? I think it was the 2020 draft. It was. Okay. So anyways, yes, it was a 2020 draft because it was Hurts, Love, Herbert, Tua, and then there was one other QB. I can't think of the 5th QB. There was 5. There was 5 QBs. There was Tua, Hurts, Herbert, Love. Tua, Hurts, Herbert, Love, and there's one more. I can't think of it. Yeah, there was 5 QBs in that draft that went.
Was it Lawrence?
Yes, it was. No, yeah. Was it? Was it Lawrence? Yes, I think it was. I don't know why I'm drawing. Lawrence was. No, he was a 2021 draft.
Gotcha.
I can't think of it. Anyways, okay. The point is yeah, I mean Jordan Love, we're starting to see, week in and week out, and they're a fun young team to watch. So I'm excited to see how.
Was it? It wasn't Trey Lance, was it?
No, because Trey Lance was in the Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson draft.
Gotcha.
I can't think of it. It's pissing me off. But
why don't you look it up?
I did. I couldn't find it.
2020.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, how about this one, though? The Chiefs and the Packers game, there was so many controversial calls in that game. You had the pass interference Hail Mary call. You had the Marquez Valdez-Scantling one, the Mahomes getting pushed out of bounds. The play.
Burrow?
Yes.
It was Burrow.
Yes, it was 2020. Yes, Burrow was.
Yes, Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and Tyler Huntley.
No, Jordan Love.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Jordan Love. That was good. Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, but Chiefs-Packers game, though, 27-19 Packers. And, they played a good game, but yeah, the controversial stuff about the pass interference, the Hail Mary. Pass interference never gets called on the Hail Marys, but I'm sure you saw that. Did you see all the Hail Mary, potential pass interference call? I'm sure you saw that, right?
Yeah.
How about the one though, Marquez Valdez-Scantling? How did the refs miss that? Did they just close their eyes when the play went up and they're like, "Oh no, we're not going to call that on that one"?
Dude, I don't know. On a Hail Mary, it's such a cluster of players and stuff that everyone's reaching for the ball, so it's really hard to call it.
Not the Hail Mary one, the Marquez Valdez-Scantling one where Mahomes the one before the couple plays before that where they completely missed it, where the defender was basically piggybacking Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He was basically on his back, like literally taking him for a piggyback ride.
Yeah,
and they missed it.
Pass interference it's like one of the worst rules in football. Like it causes so much pain to all the fans.
Yes, it does.
Whether it's a non-call or it is a call, everyone's pissed.
Do you think the NFL should go back to reviewing it?
I think so. I mean, I think you should. I think they should be able to live review everything. I think that there should be times where the New York calls and says, "Look, chill, that was clear call." I don't know about missed calls though. Missed calls, that's harder because if I would say overturning a call live should be a thing, but if you're calling every missed call, there's probably holding on almost every single play in NFL football. So
Lane Johnson was early almost every snap against the Niners. I'm not sure if you saw that, but he was early against every snap against the Niners. Yeah, and they missed a ton of holding calls. So but
we would have if we don't want more calls, but I would like live calls to remove calls.
Yeah, I feel like when it's blatant, they can talk to New York and New York can call in and say, "Hey, this should be reviewed." So
Yeah,
how about
certainly.
this one though? Zach Wilson is named the starter for the Jets this week against the Texans. So Zach Wilson is back. We had this conversation a few weeks ago about Zach Wilson. He
Dude,
should
what
have.
is all this conversation about like Zach Wilson not getting along with Robert? Like, is he
Oh, that was
just
false. They came out.
okay?
But anyways, it doesn't even matter.
That's
You should have never benched Zach Wilson in the first place.
not for
Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle. What?
Tim Boyle. Can anyone? I don't
He
understand
got
how
cut.
every fan in the world can see that Tim Boyle is the worst quarterback to ever make it in the NFL,
He got cut.
and like somehow he's still just kicking around.
No, he got cut. He's gone now.
Does anyone does he have dirt on like the fucking NFL commissioner? Like what? How did he even get there in the first place? He's just like
Aaron Rodgers,
the least qualified person to ever show up.
We had this conversation a few weeks ago. Aaron Rodgers pitched.
Yeah, but how did he even get to meet Aaron Rodgers? Like, how did you get there?
The Packers part I couldn't tell you, but I knew that Rodgers loaded the train up and brought his crew to New York and said, "Hey, we're here." So
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was weird though. Did you know this, Max? Jason Kelce, he wrote his own Christmas song.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I've been listening to a lot of New Heights lately, so I'll have to hear about it.
I actually saw the clip on Twitter X, and there was a clip, and basically Connor Barwin. Do you remember him from the Eagles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the director of player development for the Eagles, and he basically said, yeah, Travis Kelce, after the season was over, Jason Kelce, after the season was over last year, he wrote a Christmas song. Like, because I know Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce came out with their own like Christmas album. Is it album? Yeah, and he wrote his own song. It was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Could
We'll
you see your?
to it.
Yeah, I probably won't be listening to it, but I don't know. I think it'd be hard to write your own song, like a good song to like drop it, right?
Yeah.
And he actually added some NFL flavor into it as well. So, but this one I wanted to ask you, we don't really ever talk about hockey on the podcast, but actually the International Ice Hockey Federation is going to be mandating net guards for tournaments, including Olympics. You saw the thing with Adam Johnson back in October where he got his neck cut, and unfortunately he passed away due to it. So do you think the NHL should mandate net guards, or do you think it should be up to the players?
That's a tough one, because I think the players should have their own choice, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think I don't know why you wouldn't wear one. I know it's probably not comfortable, but like,
I don't wear one.
Yeah,
I've never worn one, and I understand that. I actually made a point about this a few weeks ago when you weren't on, and I said I think it should be up to the players, but also the other side of the coin. It's like, hey, you got to protect me, I got to protect you, right? Like we're in this together. So it's a very sticky situation. I know TJ Oshie, the Capitals player, he's like the spokesperson of this situation. He's been in constant contact with Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, about mandating neck guards. And I know some players have started to wear them.
Oshie wears it?
Yes, he does. Yes, TJ Oshie wears a neck guard now. Yeah, and so some other players
honest,
have
I don't
fallen
even
in.
know what a hockey neck guard looks like.
It's just a wrap around your neck, basically. You can look it up. My mom has actually been like blowing up my phone for me to wear a neck guard in my men's league games because it's. But
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't worn one since I was like 6 or 7. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where players are, if they want to wear it or not, it's right now it's up to them.
It kind of looks swaggy.
You like it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a turtleneck.
Yeah, it's exactly basically what it is.
Yeah, I can't see why you wouldn't wear one, but I also can see why a player wouldn't want to have the NHL tell them what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, think for semi-pro teams, like all of them should be wearing it. There's no one should lose their life over a semi-pro hockey game. But
Everblades?
Yeah, the Everblades, wear them.
Do you see the Everblades last night? The beer snake they did?
Yeah. Fighting for the hometown, Joe.
Oh, gosh, that's so funny. That was hilarious. No, but I understand your point in that aspect. I think in juniors, from juniors up, you can wear a half shield, but it also goes back to the point of half shield's very dangerous as well. You can lose your teeth. You can get a skate to the mouth as well. So
but a skate to the mouth is not as nearly as dangerous as a skate to the carotid artery.
That is true, but still, like you can still get hurt really, really bad by getting hit in the face.
I don't think you should have to be protected from being hurt pretty bad. I think you should be forced to be protected from dying.
100%. But I mean,
I'm not going to die from a skate to the mouth.
No, you're not going to die from skate to the mouth, but it is still very dangerous.
It's certainly dangerous. I think
Hockey is a super dangerous sport. I mean, it's, there's,
yeah.
this. So it's like, yeah, it's a very sticky situation. And right now it's been up to the players. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm ready to get into a little bit of pop culture and then we'll wrap up. Taylor
Is there
Swift.
any players that wear full cages in the NHL?
So a couple players wore them when they got hurt, but I
Like
don't think
injured?
yeah, like I mean Crosby wore like a bubble cage when he broke his jaw one year. You can look it up, but I'm not 100% positive. Most guys in the NHL just either wear, or most guys now wear the visor. I know we had the whole grandfathered in conversation a while ago, but a lot of college guys will wear the bubble, which I wear the bubble. A lot of guys will wear that, but
Which is like what? It's
that's
like
just
a half shield within like a clear mask underneath.
no, the bubble is just a clear bubble. It's just a clear shield. It just covers your whole face.
The whole face.
Yeah, so they have bubbles and they have a bubble here and they also have a cage one. You can get that one, but most guys will either wear just the bubble or the visor.
Right.
Yeah, guys try to get away with certain things, but yeah, no, they're very strict with when it comes to the bubble or the visor. Most guys now wear the visor. I mean, Ovechkin wears the visor, Crosby wears the visor, McDavid wears the visor.
It looks like in college hockey
Matthews.
they all wear full
Bubbles.
cages.
Yeah, a lot of guys. So a lot of guys don't like bubbles because it fogs up. That's the one thing I had to get used to it because it's weird because when I was at UF and one of my friends, Chris Broski, he said, "Hey, you got to learn how to breathe differently with the bubble." And I didn't really realize that, but you do. You got to. It's like instead of like breathing in, breathing out, you just almost like you can't breathe for a very short amount of time because it fogs up so fast. So it's one of those things where I like a cage, but it covers a lot. You don't see as much, but it's a weird thing. So
It is like even in lacrosse, like wearing a face mask was such a pain.
That's why, like, when these football guys they wear these visors, like the smoke screens or like the smoke visors.
Yeah, I can't understand why you'd ever want to do that.
I don't know how you see out of those that well.
I have pretty bad vision, so I hate having anything in front of my eyes. I don't even like wearing sunglasses. Like
really,
I like fully exposed, but that's just because I have bad vision. So I can't imagine putting more stuff in front of my eyes.
I have to wear sunglasses, especially with the sun in Florida and then California too. Like the sun just like kills my eyes. I get headaches though, so like I have to wear sunglasses. They have to be polarized. That's why I can't wear non-polarized sunglasses. You can give me the nicest sunglasses in the world, I won't wear them if they're not polarized. That's why I've never worn like fancy designer sunglasses. It's like, nope, Ray-Bans for me. Sorry, Ray-Bans it is. Ray-Bans. So, but yeah, you ready to talk a little pop culture? Then we'll get out of here.
Sure, Joe.
Taylor Swift, Max. She was at the Chiefs Packers game. How about this one though? This actually kind of ties into the NFL. She goes, I don't mind pissing off a few dads, Brads and Chads with the NFL appearances. I don't know how they know what suite I'm in. She said about TV crews honing in on her pretending to like football. And it's actually kind of funny because they didn't show her at the Chiefs Packers game. I watched the entire game and they didn't show her. So I was kind of interested. I didn't see her once. I saw in the pregame they showed her walking in with her red teddy coat. And I'm actually wearing a teddy coat right now. But no. But anyways, no, they showed her going in. But I watched the entire game. Unless my eyes closed for a second or I was watching a different screen, I didn't see her shown. So, I mean, they talked about it briefly, but like not a lot. So I was really interested to kind of, think about that. I was like, wow, they didn't really talk about her or show her. I mean, she's also been at a lot of games this year too. So like, what more are we going to talk about? Yeah, it's not new. It's kind of old. It's not, I wouldn't say it's old news, but like we know it's out.
News.
Yeah, kind of.
I could see them folding to pressure too. I'm sure a lot of guys are complaining about seeing more Taylor Swift in football. So
yeah,
but although I mean that should be good publicity, but
it is. It's actually kind of funny because Kim Kardashian was at the Lakers Suns game, the in-season play-in tournament. The in-season tournament, and the fans in the comments were pissed that she was shown on the Bleacher Report's Instagram. They're like, what does this have to do with sports? And then people in the comments, exactly what you just said, it drives engagement and it works. And somebody said the top comment was, you're falling exactly into their trap. It works. This is exactly what they want.
Yeah, and if they can get a different market to talk about their sport, it's perfect. Like Kim Kardashian fans are not watching the NBA, but they will be commenting on that post to show support for her.
Well, that too, and Kim Kardashian also has a share in the NBA now because Skims is the partnership with the Skims has a partnership with the NBA for the underwear. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Well, I mean,
people were
what the
pissed
fuck
though.
does that mean, though? No, there was. It's not like there
No.
was much competition to be the ball carrier of the NBA. But
I was thinking like Fruit of the Loom or like
Yeah.
or Jockey. Taylor said, "I'm going to see him do what he loves. We're showing up for each other. Other people are there, and we don't care." Yeah, there you go on her relationship with, because she's on the Time Magazine Woman of the Year. So
good for her.
Yeah, I know you're not feeling it.
I'm proud of her, Joe.
This all started when Travis very adorably put me on his blast on his podcast, which I thought was metal as hell. She's basically talking about when they were this one here though. This is good for football fans. Football is awesome. It turns out I've been missing out my whole life. Welcome to the club, Taylor. Best sport in the world. I'm talking about NFL football, American football, not soccer. Sorry, soccer fans. It's NFL football. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's nothing like football.
So how about this one though? Deion Sanders wants more privacy as he reflects on adversity in first season with Colorado. He called off his engagement with his lady, and he's basically upset because he wants more privacy. Well, Deion, you signed up for this. You're a college coach. You've been in the media since you've been coming out of college at Florida State. Your whole entire now you want more privacy, and they're actually dropping an Amazon Prime season 2 of Coach Prime, and they're going to show like the season of Colorado. So that'll be interesting to see. So what did you think about that?
That's bullshit. If Deion Sanders was private, he would have nothing. Like his entire brand, his entire success is based off of his entire post football success, I should say, is based off of his brand and the prime being prime.
Yes.
So if you wanted privacy, he could have it, and he would be sitting at home, probably ran out of NFL money and be poor now. So,
jeez, you saw this one though. Seahawks player Jamal Adams criticized for mocking a reporter's wife in a tweet called "Garbage." The NFL safety wrote "Yikes" alongside a photograph of a reporter's wife in a since deleted post. So this basically transpired. Seahawks player Jamal Adams basically mocked a reporter's wife in a tweet. He called her garbage. The NFL safety wrote, or in a tweet called "Garbage." The NFL safety wrote "Yikes." So basically, Jamal Adams was getting ripped because of his poor performance against the Cowboys this past Thursday on the prime game. He just didn't play the greatest game, but he had the need to feel to retaliate, and he wrote "Yikes" about a reporter's wife. That's so low. Come on. Yeah. What are we doing here? You're an NFL player. This kind of goes back to the point what I said with you about Jordan Phillips and the fan. I get it. Fans are going to be fans, but this is a reporter. Yeah, he's doing his job. I mean, this is how he makes his money. I get he makes some money off of watching you play and critiquing your play, but you have no business saying something about his wife. That's kind of low. You know, I mean, but this is the day and age in social media. These players are going to clap back, and this is what we're going to. I mean, you're going to see more of this. This will not be the first time. But Jamal Adams was just ripped to shreds, especially because he hasn't really done much with the Seahawks either, and people are just kind of getting tired of him. So Adams ended up deleting his initial social media post. People still reacted and said, like, taking cheap shots at people doesn't change the fact that he's been a disaster with the Seahawks, and the Jets have been a better defense without him. So some people said he was a clown. So this one here, though, I really want to hear your opinion about it, and I think after that we'll wrap up. Taylor Swift's fans, Swifties, were upset about her movie coming out, the Eras Tour movie that comes out on December 13th. It costs $19.89 to rent for 48 hours. People were upset. They're like, girl, you're a billionaire. You have so much money. Why are you doing this? Why do you have to? Why can't we buy it? Why can we only rent it for 48 hours and you have to pay $19.89? Now, $19.89 comes from the album 1989. So I want to hear your opinion.
That's an absolute exorbitant amount of money. I mean, to be fair, yeah, she made literally $1 trillion on the Eras tour.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably not directly her decision on streaming rights.
Right.
There's probably $1 trillion hands that have to be fed with that money. It's not just Taylor Swift, but I think they know that the Swifties are willing to pay for it.
Yeah, they are.
So if you don't want to pay for it, shut up and don't.
I know, but just like that's a lot
it's a lot to
48
rent.
hours.
I think it should be ownership, but even like physical media doesn't exist anymore. So
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Like
but the thing is people paid for it to watch it in theaters though too. So it's like, why are you charging that much? I mean, I get the the tagline is 1989 because the album, but that's a lot of money for 48 hours for a film. Like Justin Bieber's movie came out on Prime last year, and it was free.
Yeah.
So I mean, that case, I mean, Justin Bieber, maybe he's not. I mean, you can say what you want. He's very popular. I don't know if he's as popular as Taylor Swift because he's not
as popular as Taylor Swift.
No, he's not. He's
He
not right now. But
he definitely had his moment.
Yeah,
he may have been bigger than Taylor Swift at one time, but definitely not anymore.
No, not anymore. She just got 2023. She was the #1 Spotify Wrapped person on global top lists. She was #1. No surprise there. But I mean, there's been other people in the past, not as big as her, but that's a lot of money. You're already paying for Amazon Prime. You're paying $14.99 a month, and now you're going to charge another almost $20 for 48 hours to rent a show.
I think that the label or whoever is in charge of making money for Taylor Swift realizes that they can suck every last penny out of every single one of those dumbass Swifties that are so obsessed with her that are just willing to drop months worth of rent on a ticket to see her perform.
They're insane.
I think $20 should be nothing to them.
Yeah, that is true. No, that's a good point. Yeah, those tickets are insane.
It's probably not the people that are actually going to pay for it that are complaining about it.
Max, this one's kind of funny though. World Health Organization wants higher taxes on alcohol and sugar. World Health Organization recommends that excise tax should apply to all sugar-sweetened beverages and alcoholic beverages, they said in their statement. Taxing unhealthy products creates healthier populations. It has a positive ripple effect across society, less disease and debilitation, and revenue for governments to provide public services. What do you think of this?
I can't think that punishing people that have bad habits by taking more of their money would make society a better place, because people that have bad habits are going to commit those bad habits, and regardless, they're just going to be poor. People that want alcohol are going to get alcohol no matter what.
No matter what.
And people that are alcoholics and people that are fat are going to find a way to keep getting fat and find a way to keep getting drunk. And sure, you make a little more money off of them, but they're just going to be worse off in society, even though they're already at the bottom of the barrel as it is.
Yeah, 100%. All right, this one here though. Do you think you could? I saw this. This was actually kind of funny. There was a report from CNN. They published an article about a survey asking people if they could land a plane if they had to. With asking men if they could land a plane. Do you think you could land a plane?
I know I could land a plane, Joey.
Get the hell out of here.
There's no fucking question in my mind, Joe. I could land a plane.
Well, I know you're trolling because when you make that stupid serious face, I know you're bullshitting.
Joe, this is not a joke. Like, I could land a plane.
I can tell in your lips the way you're trolling right now.
Joey, I'm not. There's people that have been talked into landing planes, wives of pilots and stuff like that.
Wives of pilots, they have like understanding.
People have landed airplanes.
Yeah, like, but I'm
have no flight experience. If anyone in the world can do it, then I can do it. I'm in the upper echelon of people here, Joe. I'm gonna land that plane.
46% of male respondents believe they could pull it off compared to just 20% of women. To the surprise of literally nobody, men between the ages of 18 and 44 come in at 42% having confidence. So you're in that ballpark there.
No, I don't have confidence. I know
you can do
it. It's not like I feel confident that I might be able to do it. It's that there isn't a situation in which I don't land the plane.
Fun fact, your boy, I actually landed a little Cessna when I was taking plane lessons when I was younger. It was scary, but I had an instructor next to me. But I'm not landing a freaking commercial plane with 300 people on the plane. No way.
I am. I have a pretty like a literal like a mild grasp on how like aviation works, like a very
basic, yeah,
like
simulation style, like Grand Theft Auto.
I know how the ailerons and this stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
like kind of like driving a car, but like nothing like it. Yeah,
I can do it.
All right, this one here though, we're almost done. TJ Houshmandzadeh files restraining order against an obsessed fan who took his name. Did you see that?
It was me, Joe.
Yeah. Don't say that.
That's me, Joe. That was me, Joe. It was me.
You have a TJ Houshmandzadeh jersey? You have his name.
I mean, that was my formative years of being a Bengals fan when Houshmandzadeh was the one.
Max Houshmandzadeh Adams.
What's that? Yeah. Yeah, you still see Houshmandzadeh jerseys at every Bengals game I go to.
That's
every
insane.
Single one. Yeah, he was him.
Who was better, him or Chad Ochocinco Johnson?
Chad Ochocinco is a Hall of Famer.
Like, yeah, no, I know.
Not even close. Houshmandzadeh was a journeyman, but he wasn't.
Why is he that popular for Bengals fans?
He was there for a long time. He
Oh,
was
true.
good. He was a good receiver. I'm trying to think. He was like, I'm trying like, I don't know. He's like Edelman to the Patriots. Like Edelman was never a superstar, but he
No.
was just a really good receiver. Ted Ginn Jr. I feel like Ted Ginn Jr. floated around all the time, and he was a good receiver. I mean,
Yeah,
he
was
really
fun.
good when he was
Teddy
younger.
Ginn, Ohio State.
Yeah, he was never a superstar, but people loved him, and he was there for a long time.
Fair. TJ Houshmandzadeh, the ladies, Annette Marie Houshmandzadeh. She's been harassing his family since 2015. Man, there are just some crazy people out there. I don't understand why the hell you would want to take somebody else's name. Max, I'm not taking your name. I don't care if you're related to. I don't care if you're related to John Quincy Adams or Samuel Adams. I'm not taking your last name.
I'm changing my last name to Swift. Actually, I'll be
as in DeAndre Swift.
No, Taylor. Taylor Swift.
All right, last one here though. How about this one? Failing streaming Apple services, Apple TV and Paramount are looking to bundle. Bro, these streaming services are getting out of control. Netflix now with the household, you have to be in the same household as somebody to use their Netflix.
Yeah.
So what makes no sense, right? So Netflix, how they have it, right? YouTube TV, they have the household, or they don't have the household thing, but they have the limit of how many people can be on the account at a time, which I think next season, I feel like YouTube TV will put a cap on how many people can watch Sunday Ticket at once, because I think they've already started to do that at the beginning of this season. But anyways, Netflix now with the household thing, and now you have Paramount Plus and Apple TV potentially bundling together. Like at this point, let's just get rid of cable, because why even have it? The streaming service is just completely taken over, right?
Well, it's a bubble. It's a bubble. There was Netflix was doing it, and then everyone wanted a piece of the pie.
Yep.
And when demand is limited and supply is unlimited, you're gonna run out of customers.
I remember when Netflix used to just have the basic plan. Now it's not. They have one with ads, they have a middle one, and they have a premium one. It's the first one is $6.99, the second one is $9.99, and then the second one is $15.99. Or you could actually, no, there's another one too. There's the premium one where you can get 4K. That's like the Mac Daddy one.
They used to be the only guy in the fight, and now they're trying. Now they want to regain that dominance, but it's just the earnings that they had at one point. But it's just not possible.
There's a time.
There's still only 7 billion people on this planet. There's only so many people you can sell streaming services to.
Yeah.
In the English language, when there used to be one guy that's taking the slice of the pie, and now there's 10. And when you're the 10th on that list, you're not making any money. Apple TV or Paramount Plus, you're not making any money down on that end.
Yeah.
So then it starts. It'll normalize. It'll shrink down again, and there eventually there'll be a nice equilibrium.
Well, yeah, the thing too is now there's just so many streaming packages. You have Hulu, you have Netflix, you have Apple TV, you have Paramount Plus, HBO Max. What's up?
What's your favorite streaming service?
Ooh, Netflix, but I really don't watch Netflix as much as I used to. I liked Apple TV.
I think Netflix is good for casual watching, just like if you're just like trying to put something on Netflix, has something for everyone. But for like real like
HBO Max,
my favorite shows, it's Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yeah, Prime has.
I haven't really got into the streaming service.
I really like Umbrella Academy on Netflix and Stranger Things. I binged all 4 seasons last year.
Yeah.
I was never really into Stranger Things. But when I watched it all at once on season 4.
So how are you doing with the Netflix now? Are you using your own?
I know I'm part of my parents' household.
You're not in the same household with them though.
It's not. You don't have to be in the physical location. You have to be. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because it happened to me. I had to do it with my dad. I'm no longer allowed to be on his Netflix because I'm not in the same household as him. Yeah. So now what Netflix has done is they've changed it to where you have to be in the exact same household as the person, or what they can do, excuse me, is they can add you to their account and you get charged $7.99 a month extra. Yeah. It's weird because
I don't watch Netflix anyway as it is.
So you'll see
what you can started. There has not been a new season of a show that I watch.
So there's 2 things you can do. One, you can add yourself, you can get added with $7.99 a month, or you can do the I'm traveling for 7 days. So that's the thing too. Last point about this. People are upset because they're like, well, what if I'm traveling for 30 days and I can't watch my Netflix? Well, the other side of the coin is Netflix has made it where you can use your tablet, your phone, or your laptop or computer or whatever other device. You just can't watch it through a TV, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm a big Prime fan. I watch The Boys. I've
yeah,
absolutely loved The Boys. I just watched Gen V. I've watched Invincible recently. I love Invincible.
the
Jeremy
movie Vince
also
Papali.
no,
Oh,
Invincible the show.
dang it,
It's an animated superhero.
Papali, go long.
And
He's
then
at the
all of
30.
I've watched all of Grand Tour, which is
Mhm.
the Top Gear show with Jeremy Clarkson. Absolutely love that show.
Yep.
Clarkson's Farm is probably
Yeah.
some of the funniest content in the history. You remember my dad watching that when you were
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
My dad
Yeah.
loved Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah.
So I think they have the best content out there. My favorite content is on Amazon Prime. What's yours?
Really? You asked me if it was Netflix. I can't pinpoint one. I really can't. I do like Netflix. I liked Paramount Plus for a little bit, but I haven't watched it in a while. I do like HBO Max. I mean, they got some really good stuff on there product wise. I haven't really got into Prime. I did watch the Barry doc on Prime. That was pretty good. I liked that a lot. That was cool to see.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry Sanders had a documentary come out on him on Prime, Amazon
I
Prime.
did watch Barry. What is that on?
Oh, that's on HBO Max. That's with what's his name? The guy from Trainwreck. I can't think of his name. Bill something. What's the actor's name in Barry?
Oh, yeah.
Bill Hader. Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
super weird show. I honestly don't even remember much about it. It was
kind of like Dexter,
I was
right?
obsessed with it when I was watching it, but I can't even remember that much about it.
Well, now, and there's also Peacock. Peacock has streaming now too. There's so many streaming services.
Who the hell is watching Peacock?
Me. Well, actually, you have to watch Peacock for certain things because they have like certain events are on there. So.
Yeah,
I like Apple TV too, but they've also raised their prices as well. So there's just many.
I've watched what does my dad watch on Apple TV? I've watched I've gotten like through the first like 6 or 7 episodes of Mythic Quest, which is oh, we didn't talk about Hulu, but anyway, Always Sunny, the creator Rob McElhenney, he has a show called Mythic Quest, and I watched the first 8 episodes, I think, and I was not that into it. It was funny, but Hulu has some bangers. Welcome to Wrexham is amazing.
Yeah, I've got to watch that.
I binged both seasons like within 3 days of them coming out. And then Always Sunny is my favorite show of all time.
I liked the morning show on Apple TV. I still haven't finished yet. I have like 2 episodes left of it. That's the news show with Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell. Who else is in there? Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston. Those are the 2 mains. Reese Witherspoon, yeah, she's in there as well. So that's a good one that's there. But really, I really can't pinpoint a number one streaming show. But I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna see how many streaming services I can name: Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu, Peacock, Amazon Prime. Did I miss any? I'm sure I did, but those are the main.
You did.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that does it for us, right? Got to get out of here. Ready to get out?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. We appreciate you guys with the support on TikTok, Instagram. The clips have been doing so well on TikTok. We really appreciate you guys. Just remember, these are just opinions. Some of these are not 100% fact-based. We're just giving our take on the daily world of life, and we like to have fun. 18 days till Christmas. We'll see you guys next time. Jeez, my voice. I'm losing my voice. Inquisitive Mamba podcast on Spotify, the Inquisitive Mamba podcast on Apple Podcasts, the Inquisitive Mamba on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
See you, folks.